taking any notes this week.
Yeah. Welcome back. This is Yelling and Screaming, NFL Week 3. I am joined again by my good friend Sean.
How's it
We're
going?
into football. So
We
big
are.
week 2. It hasn't been great football across the NFL. I think it's fair to say that.
I've seen some. I've seen some things that look cool, like just getting back into the game. Seeing some poor performances and teams underperforming, or some shocking wins, and so I mean, it's football. It's any given Sunday. You never really know what you're going to get, and things like injuries or environment. Every once in a while, something happens, and it just kind of draws you back into the game. So
I
I'm here
always
for it.
appreciate NFL because even bad football is better than pretty much any other sport. So whether we're watching just awful teams go at it, or you actually have like a fun game to watch, it's football. It's NFL. That's all there's to it.
There were definitely a couple of games this week. At least one that I thought was really fun, and one that kind of had us scratching our heads and looking at people's careers and how that's gonna pan out. So
Well,
yeah, definitely
let's jump
interesting.
into it. If this is your first one, we're kind of trying this out where we're going to run through the week 3 slate and use the games in the teams in each given game as a chance to look back on week 2 versus giving you 16 games of recap and then 16 games of preview. Kind of ball it all together. So definitely hit the comments. Let us know what you're thinking if you like that style. But we'll get right into it. Thursday night football, Patriots Jets.
Aaron Rodgers, has a decent game. They don't look as terrible as I thought they looked in the first week of the season. Patriots surprised me playing a tough game against Seattle. It's at home, and Patriots are not usually they haven't been good in the last couple of years. But to see them battle and take that game to OT was I'm more excited about them playing this season than I thought I was going to be.
That's fair. I think that's very fair. I'm going to go out on a limb just to start with here. I have the Patriots winning this game.
You know what? I don't know if I wouldn't take that one, but I like where your head is at. They have played hard for their last few games. Like they came out this season, they really feel like that they've got what Mayo in there, in that and the coaching staff really seem like they're rolling a bit. So I mean, they got Brissett back there. He's not doing too bad. I mean, why not just take the home team? Or sorry, take the away.
Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers, right? The Jets are the better team on paper and probably on the field, but it's AFC East stuff, and you got to kind of throw out the record books because the AFC East is weird and has been weird for as long as I've been watching football, and this feels like a game on a Thursday night where the Jets only score like 17 points and the Patriots like drive down the field, kick it to win at the end.
Yep, it'll be their sweet revenge then for the loss this past week. So I can see that.
Giants Browns. I have one fun fact for this game, and then I'll let you have at it. Both of these teams scored 18 points last week. Isn't that fun?
So many field goals.
I have no interest in watching this game.
Football is just. But I think anybody who's following the Deshaun Watson fiasco and the fact that they got it, they got the win this past week. It's just hard to root for them. But even if you're not rooting for them, the Giants are just so bad. They're just so bad. I mean, pardon my French, but to eke out 6 field goals and still lose, like that's tough. You have to score in the red zone. You have to punch the ball in order to be good in this league, and I just don't think that they have it. I really don't. They might end up being the worst. They might have the worst record in the NFL, and that's saying something considering how bad the Panthers are.
I feel like the Giants really just need like a every down, big, bruising kind of back that can also catch balls out of the backfield. Maybe like a Saquon Barkley type. I think that would really kind of augment that offense. I don't know if you want to go play there.
I think they're hoping the Tiki Barber is available at some point.
Dude, like
Oh my
Ahmad
goodness.
Bradshaw, man, like there's
They
gotta be a
had
bruiser like that.
they had some big backs in the Giants. You know, Eli wasn't playing around. He had some big guys back there too. But I mean, they just don't have it. Like I can't. I don't see them. I don't see an instance where in this game their rush is going to come alive. And so like, what do? You stack the box. You come after the quarterback, and you make his life miserable. I mean, the only bright side right now is Malik Neighbors. He's he's looking pretty good. He looks good right now. You know, he's one of those guys to watch. Obviously, there's some other good receivers in this freshman class, but he looks really good right now.
I'm looking at the morning slate of games, and like obviously this one's gonna be on Red Zone, but like I'm not giving fourth TV status to this game. Like it's not gonna make it for me.
Unless the Browns go off for some strange reason, this game is going to be another game with a bunch of field goals, and if there's a bunch of field goals at all. So, I mean, I would take the under. Personally, I'm taking
I
the
don't even
under.
know what it's sitting at. I know that we are on the trajectory now for Winston to play a full game by the end of the season. He had 0 snaps week 1. He had 1 snap week 2. So, we're right there. We're moving right along.
I want to see Jameis Winston in that offense. I think that he's a lot better quarterback than they had given credit, and I think he would be more consistent if they actually gave him a full season over Deshaun Watson and what's been going on with him. So, I mean, I would rather see him. You see what happened with Flacco, and just
well, that's the thing. It's like there's a blueprint for not using Watson.
and it's winning. It's winning.
Totals down to 38.5 on this game. That is gross.
I can see that being the case, though. I mean, hell, we just had a 39. We just had a 39, and that was a divisional game, so they typically have their number.
Yeah, I don't want to watch this game.
No one wants to watch that game.
Speaking of games no one wants to watch, Bears.
Oh my goodness.
Is this a make it or break it game for both of these teams?
No. The only reason why I don't say it's a make it or break it game for both of these teams is because you got young quarterbacks and realistically, like, they could sneak in with that wild card spot. So maybe these aren't the division leaders, but they can sneak in on the wild card. maybe they're not the division leaders, but they can sneak in on the wild card. And I mean, at the end of the day, both teams sitting at 1-1. Or sorry, no, Colts are 0-2. Bears sitting at 1-1. Colts 0-2. I mean, it's still really early in the season, but the Bears' offense does not look good.
Yeah,
it does not look good. I think that their offensive line is really struggling right now to be cohesive. You can say what you want, but Caleb Williams is constantly out of the pocket and trying to do random things. I thought that was going to be a brighter spot for them this year. Fingers crossed.
It feels like it's always an issue, and they've spent money there. They've gone and got guys there. So I don't know. You can't blame. Looking at the Bears over the last 25 years at this point, now you throw out the Super Bowl year where they actually sucked all of that year too. And there's been so many different coaches and so many different players and so many different linemen and different systems. And like at some point you really have to look in the mirror and like, there's only one thing that hasn't changed. And it's this ownership group.
Ownership.
I mean, at some point, right, the owners don't play football. But at some point, there's nothing left to change out. So it's either the fans or the owner. I don't think it's the fans.
Bears fans are diehard. From what I understand, I'm a guy from Philadelphia, but I'm a diehard Raiders fan, and the Bears fans I know are pretty diehard. So that's not going to change. They need some better front office direction. I mean, I'm not going to blame ownership. Needs to take ownership. They need to do a better job of picking their front office. And really, I mean, it trickles down from there, but it's just the O-line, right? Get a good old line coach. Go steal somewhere. The Chiefs O line coach, the Lions O line coach. Go spend some money on one of those guys. Get somebody in here who can really get a wall up in front of Caleb Williams, and then we can start talking about him. Because really, like, you have the weapons, you just don't have the time to have anything develop. So, I mean, yeah, the defense isn't that bad either. The Bears' defense has been, I would say, on par with some of the solid teams in the league this year. 19 points in the second game, and in the first game, what they give up in game one.
Well,
24.
They're scoring.
It's not bad.
I mean,
they're scoring on offense too.
So
yeah, so they're not terrible.
So who wins this one?
I'm calling bounce back game for the Colts. I need Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm a little biased because I got Richardson and JT on my fantasy football team.
Oh, you need it.
So I kind of need it. But you know what? I think you're going to take the Bears, aren't you?
No, but I have the Bears defense scoring more touchdowns than the offense.
I can see that.
I have zero faith in the offense right now. Swift is just not enough to distract from the horrific pass protection. I think that he was blessed with better offensive lines than people gave him credit for. They were good O-lines too. Big Ten school. You know what they say about Big Ten schools in the trenches.
I'll say he was blessed with some offensive lines. Because I just don't see he's not as dynamic as a running back. He's not as swift. Sorry. As I have been. Again, maybe
you're saying Swift was blessed with good lines. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry,
blessed with good lines.
Williams.
At Oklahoma, yeah. At USC, probably not so much. At least not when he got injured.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's a little auto transition for you. Texans, Vikings. The Texans side of this Bears game was not good either. Really ugly ball. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of them. The Vikings have looked pretty good. I'm kind of excited for this game just to see what's real. We've had very different results in very different ways and fashions from these teams. I really want to see if Stroud is the guy he was last year. And I really want to see what the Vikings are going to look like on the rushing side against the team that has a little bit more stout of a defense.
You know what? I can see that. I mean, the Texans defense has looked good this year. I think they look pretty solid. The Minnesota Vikings, who would have thought? Sam Darnold having a career revival. Although Minnesota has been a place where careers have been revived. Case Keenum reigniting his throwing motion. Cousins coming back from injury. It seems like a place where guys go, when they need a little pick me up. So maybe Darnold just happens to be in the right place at the right time right now, and keeping that offense rolling. I mean, I like it. I could see Minnesota taking this game at home. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to you there by any means. This is currently 2.5 Houston. So,
yeah. I mean, Houston does look good. Believe me, I think Houston looks like they're definitely going to be the team that come out of that division. I definitely see them coming out of that division.
Certainly have the firepower, right? So
100%.
As long as they can keep everything pieced together. I mean, Tank
Dell's the name of the game.
Nothing, and they're winning games.
Hasn't had to. I mean, my guy Nico Collins looking like Andre Johnson out there. Like, hey, look, he's not even taking them down.
He's like half the size of Andre Johnson.
hey, it's not about the size of the boat, but the motion in the ocean. All right, he's hitting them. He is not going down. He's going second contact. He's getting third contact. And you know what? I love it. I love a guy who fights through a tackle because that's the guy that you want. That's the guy who's going to get you those, the 1 or 2 extra yards that you need. So I'm all for it. He's also on my fantasy team. Shout out Nico Collins.
Yeah, this is just going to be the Sean's fantasy hour.
I mean, hey, if I end up with good players on these teams, then I'm cool with it. I can't really get that too. Yeah, I got a couple of players who are already injured, so we'll probably get to a couple.
All right, well, let me talk about one of my fantasy players. Eagles Saints. Alvin Kamara coming off a monster game. I had to check the stat box. I hadn't seen anything from the game because they're scoring so damn fast. Every time I looked over that TV, it's on commercial. Cowboys got put on notice, man. This Saints offense, this is the test. If they score 30 points on the Eagles, your boy Carr, he's doing it, man.
There was a reason why Carr finally had a good season with Devontae Adams where he gets injured in Las Vegas, with the Raiders. He finally was able to put it together, and then Josh McDaniels comes in and ruins the whole thing. I never had issues with Derek Carr. I knew that he needed the right pieces around him. I knew that having a defense that didn't give up 1,000,000 yards and constantly get scored on made it so that they would actually have a better chance of scoring in games. He was always he had how many Pro Bowl receivers with him in the past couple of years? I mean, he had to throw the ball to those guys, so obviously he wasn't doing too bad. So I never felt like he needed to go. The Saints are now getting him. The same thing that they're getting that what they got with Drew Brees. They're getting a guy who's going to put the ball out there who isn't necessarily the biggest dude, isn't necessarily the most physically gifted, but he actually makes really good decisions with the football. So I'm excited for him. I am from Philadelphia, so seeing the Eagles lose this game would be a little bit of a heartbreak for a hometown boy. But the Saints are looking real good right now. Eagles defense too is not looking as strong as they have in some recent years. So it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out. But I could totally see the Saints pulling away with this one.
So this is really 3 is a trend. 3 is a trend. This is what I keep writing in my notes. It's like 2 data points against 2 very different teams. We know the Panthers suck. Putting it up against the Cowboys. I think more importantly, holding the Cowboys offense to 19. CD's still 8. He's a good wide receiver. He's going to get his. But you take that supposedly high-powered offense home to 19 points in their place.
And Ferguson's injured now. So now the number 1 tight end option is gone. So,
you get this game against the Eagles, who are also a high-powered offense. Didn't look at Monday night necessarily, but we know they have weapons. We know what they can do. Obviously,
AJ Brown was out.
Brown being hurt is a big deal, and he's going to miss more time. He said today he's going to miss several weeks, so that takes a little bit of the luster off of it. But still a capable offense.
Well, I think with AJ Brown scheduled out, so you can make some of the adjustments, throughout the week and prepare a little bit better. Their receiver core is very capable without AJ Brown. So and
they still have Dots in there.
They do have Dots in there, and Devontae Smith is a very capable wide receiver. He's a guy who's got good hands, he's got good speed, and so they can really they can, as long as they make the adjustment, I'm sure that they'll have better luck on offense. It's going to be great watching 2 running backs and Saquon and Alvin Kamara battle it out. I think it's going to be a testament. Their defense lines really both going to have a testament here. I feel like Philly's offensive line, even without the future Hall of Famer and Jason Kelce at the anchor, is still a really good offensive line. So it'll be cool to see how well they plan up against that Saints defensive line.
That's my game of the week. Yeah. I'm hyped for that one.
I feel like that's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
Steelers and the Chargers in Pittsburgh. Is this the Steelers' first real game?
I think this game right here will be a testament to whether or not. Now, hear me out. I'm going to make a quick jump here. Whether or not Russell Wilson throws a pass as a Steelers quarterback. this game right here may be the testament to that. There have been some significant injuries at quarterback for some other teams in the NFL, and with a team like Miami, if you can't get Tua back and Skylar Thompson is the guy for the rest of the season, I'm going out and I'm getting Russell Wilson. Team like the Panthers, you're sitting Bryce Young right now. If you really, what do you got to lose by picking up a guy like Russell Wilson, if not anything but just having a experienced leader back there to, for whatever reason, if you feel like you want to bring him back in, to give some mentorship to Bryce Young. Like, there's some options out there. If it feels,
I mean, he's got his mentor though. He's got the Red Rocket ready to go.
Look, all I'm saying is, first of all, no. Andy Dalton, no. Who the fuck has he mentored? Who should he be qualified to mentor? Nobody.
Bryce Young.
That's why they're so goddamn bad. That's why, because Andy Dalton is his fucking mentor. That's why
he's mentoring him to carry a clipboard.
He's like, look, man, screw the starting job. Screw the starting job. You want to be a backup. That's where all the money's at.
I mean, truly, no risk. What was that about Blue Mountain State?
Oh my God, get a little Alex Moran. Oh goodness, Andy Dalton's been trained to be a holder his entire life.
Broncos, Bucks. I have Bo Nix with more incomplete passes than Baker Mayfield throws passes.
Okay, wow. Let me think about that, because I honestly think Baker's obviously the better quarterback in this. The Bucks are definitely going to be a formidable team. I feel like they're just going to beat up on the Broncos. It just feels like it. Bo Nix, I'm sorry, but he ain't the guy.
I ordered my Super Bowl or bust shirt, and I think I'm gonna charge it back on the credit card. I think I made a mistake.
Report that one as fraud. Report that one as fraud.
Yeah, me and Bo Nix. That's the fraud.
Absolute facts. Yeah, no, just the offense just doesn't have it right now. It's their passes being dropped. There's balls just not putting in balls not being put where they need to put on the receivers. He's constantly running around back there, scrambling around. Like it's just not there. I don't know what Sean Payton is doing, but it's not good.
All those wide receivers suck. I was looking at this the other day, and I don't know how I didn't see it before. I mean, they did have some injuries and make some weird cuts, but they have no wide receivers. There's 5 wide receivers on the roster. You got Sutton, Josh Reynolds, Marvin Mims, and Devon Bell is playing out there. And it's like, these guys suck. And then Dolchik isn't a good tight end. It's like, who is he going to throw the ball to? So yes, they're dropping balls, and like you got to catch a damn ball, like 100%. But like these aren't NFL wide receivers is part of the problem. Like we're expecting NFL things from them, and like these guys should be on practice squads.
You are not wrong. There are plenty of guys I feel like who could have got picked up before these guys. It's just not their offense just looks terrible. Like none of these guys, and I was talking to people about who's the backup. Like what happens if you really, really don't get anything out of Bo Nix? It's Jarrett Stidham.
Sure is.
And then Zach Wilson. Like that Broncos quarterback room is just full of disappointment.
I mean, I never want to be. That's not true. I'll be the worst NFL head coach if I had a chance to be the NFL head coach. I will take that mantle. I will do that. But what I was going to say is I never want to be an NFL head coach and be looking at Tutu Atwell and like, well, that's an upgrade over what I have. Like, that's an awful situation to be in, and I don't know what is going on up there.
Oh goodness. All right, so yeah, it's Bucks. What's the line on this? You have the line?
$1 million.
Should be.
Tampa by 6.5.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
That might not be enough. 80% of the money on the Bucks right now.
Well, then that means the script's about to get flipped.
Right. This is a game the Broncos will win 6-2.
Watch Baker Mayfield goes out with a concussion. One week out, suddenly the Broncos defense has 5 sacks and offense scores 2 touchdowns. Defense with a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Game ends 35-17. Like something ridiculous.
It's the NFL, right? And especially this year's NFL. I mean, we're seeing just weird shit.
So much weird stuff. So much going on with officiating. So much going on. Some of the players are just also they're really snapping at each other. Early on, they're snapping at each other. It's getting real scrappy. Let's talk about something here, though. Let's get into this game. This Titans-Packers.
Yeah, talk about scrappy. Malik Willis revenge game.
I mean, we needed a quarterback to come in and be the next Teddy Two Gloves, and that guy is Malik Willis, right?
I was blown away by how well he played.
I mean, who needs Jordan Love? Who needs him?
Aaron Rodgers leaves, looks like shit. Brett Favre leaves, looked like shit with the Jets. I guess I went to the playoffs, but maybe the Packers system quarterbacks. I could play quarterback for the Packers.
Oh goodness, nah! I don't think you throw hard enough. At least they throw really hard. I didn't say they threw accurately after they leave, especially, but they throw pretty hard.
Well, it's funny they should bring up inaccurate quarterbacks because Will Levis for the Titans.
Oh my goodness, he should be benched. He should be benched.
But then do what? I mean, then they have to go get Russell Wilson.
Look, Russ never playing a snap in Pittsburgh is about to be the most sought after man in the NFL.
I mean, they were so in on Will Levis that the only other quarterback on the roster is Mason Rudolph.
Oh my goodness, he wasn't good enough for Pittsburgh.
They took Mason Rudolph over Malik Willis.
Well, he honestly wasn't the good fit for that system. He clearly is doing a lot better job in Green Bay. And good luck to you, Malik Willis. I got you in this game over Tennessee. Tennessee is just looking bad. No rush offense, really. Can't pass, save their life. Just the Tennessee logo is exactly what their quarterback is constantly doing. Just always moving.
This line is 2.5-3 Titans.
Because it's a home game?
I mean, that makes them even on a neutral field. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Hold on. I mean, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, I'm betting this right now. I love it. I was like, I guess they're not watching these games.
What? Yeah, what? But Vegas, man, they don't build those big buildings with bad bets.
I guess you're right. They must got that. They got the script, man. They got the script. That's on me.
That was the funniest commercials.
These guys. So, oh no. After you said,
I was going to bounce off this game and get into something else. So if you got something else,
yeah. Well, I would love to talk about my Raiders.
Oh yeah, I figured I'd give you the time. Panthers, Raiders. I'm assuming the Raiders are favored in this game.
Raiders at home.
7.
At home against Andy Dalton. Look, Max Crosby is going to have a goddamn field day.
Oh, we were robbed.
Robbed
of something fun.
He is about to have a field day.
They probably would have sacked Bryce 7 times.
I feel like Andy Dalton's not going to get not going to be that much better.
Is Andy Dalton more mobile than Bryce Young?
No, but he'll throw the ball away more. That's the difference. Sacks come because the quarterback is too mobile. He gets away from that offensive line and he gets crushed by, I mean, the games where people get the most sacks is typically when the quarterback's more mobile. That's usually the case.
Probably fair. Or
they contain a lot
in the pocket like Daniel Jones.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. Daniel Jones falls and trips over his own offensive lineman and gets sacked. But let's go. Raiders. I would take the money on this one. They looked tough last week. They played against a Baltimore team that people had them being blown out by. Their defense played well when they needed to. God forbid they almost gave up. They almost lost at the end there with that Statue of Liberty, just throwing the ball, the hook, whatever you want to call it. They almost lost there with the tossbacks, but I feel confident that AP has everyone's ears in that locker room, and Max Crosby is such a strong leader right now that they're just riding those guys, the energy that they have. And I like my Raiders to go 2-1.
I hate watching the Raiders for one reason and one reason only, and it's Carson. When we watch the 602 team, when we watch football, you do a shot for missed kicks. And the Carson brothers are terrifying. They're terrifying to watch. I think the one's finally gone. He lost his job with the Packers. But I just remember watching the Packers play the Raider, and they combined for like 5 missed field goals. And it's emotionally scarring for me to watch the Raiders kick.
He's been better in this past year, Daniel Carlson. I will say this past year he was a little bit better. At the end of the day, like, your job as a kicker is to put the ball in. Like, that's it. So last year he went 26 for 30. That not bad. Year before that, 34 for 37. Year before that, 40 for 43. So he's been relatively accurate for most of his career. He had 1 year in 2019 where he went 19 for 26. Other than that, he hasn't missed more than 3 field goals in a year. So he's been pretty consistent. Now, what I will say is, as far as extra points go, he's been spot on with those as well. So I like him. I remember watching Seabass trying to kick, rockets from space, and he was a great character. Carlson's just he's a pretty consistent guy. I like him back there, and I'm glad that we got to go from one guy who I liked his personality, who had a monster of a leg, to another guy who I like his personality. He's got a pretty accurate leg.
Is there anything you need to see from the Raiders in this game to avoid feeling bad about them, or like they can't compete with a real team down the line? What are you looking to avoid? I
need to see either Gardner Minshew put up over 300 yards passing, because he had 276 in this game. He went 30 for 38, so 1 touchdown and one interception. I would need to see either Gardner Minshew put up over 300 yards, or Gardner Minshew throw over 2 touchdown passes, or I'd need to see Zamir White give me over 100 yards rushing. Thus, the only things I need to see one facet of their offense be at that high caliber, because Devontae Adams getting 110 receiving yards is great. He had 9 receptions and he had a touchdown. Fascinating. That's phenomenal. But one receiver getting 100 yards each week does not equal winning games. So having a rush offense that allows you to spread the field a little bit more, because they can't leave the box open, because they can't contain you. They gotta actually worry about the run. Having that, being able to open up the field and being able to see Gardner Minshew then get some balls downfield and really see the ball moving, that's what I want to see.
Well, you get to play the Panthers.
So we got the best chance to do it this week.
Yeah, right. And then next week you play the Browns. So you got a couple opportunities here.
Browns got a much better D-line, I would say, than the Panthers. So it'd be a little bit better. But I'm excited to see us go 3-1. That's my plan.
Dolphins, Seahawks. Tua hits the IR. Kind of a scary moment there. We never cheer for injuries. Don't want to make light of it, but this has been coming. I don't know what he was thinking, going and bull rushing a guy. It's so strange.
He doesn't slide properly. Like, why? I get being tough, but like when your brainstem is being jostled and battered, stop and think about your life for a second, dude. That extra half a yard ain't gonna do you nothing if you can't eat. If you're drinking through a straw, it don't mean shit. So guess what? I'm sliding, because if you want to be worth $142 million guaranteed, you might want to play for a little bit longer.
And just the situational awareness, he had the first down. I really don't.
It's not worth it.
Was doing. I don't know.
He just keeps getting his head slammed against the ground, and not in a regular way, in like a whiplash. Like it's just bad. Like I don't know who he needs to coach him. He should be wearing a Guardian cap. If anybody should be wearing a Guardian cap.
I have no idea why he isn't. I don't like. It looks stupid. So I understand if that is his argument. It looks ridiculous. But
here's the thing, though, right? If it was a video game when it was like Blitz and the guys used to get super big, we used to think that was cool, right? If everybody was forced to just do that, if that's what the helmets look like, you would get over it.
Did you just compare NFL Blitz to the Guardian cap?
I sure did.
This has been
Maybe he needs a little bit of
that. There will not be another episode. The greatest football game of all time compared to the stupid soft hats.
Hey. If the soft hats make you feel like you're running through somebody and not getting beat the shit up, like the boost on Blitz, then go for it, dude. I don't care. But stop getting your neck snapped back. All right. Damar Hamlin already died on the field and had to come back. This motherfucker resurrected. I'm telling you right now.
Hit Tua.
I know, but I'm telling you right. What did I say? Here, all right, here's my conspiracy theory. Damar Hamlin made a deal with the Illuminati or with some being to come back, and he is now draining the life away from Tua's career. Damar Hamlin's going to play up through Tua's career. He's going to get better and better. He'll end up being a Pro Bowler for some random shit somehow. He's stealing Tua's life energy away. That's my take.
It's a hot take.
That's my take.
I got another hot take for you. Skylar Thompson sucks.
That's your hot take?
That's my hot take.
Sir, that is lukewarm at best. We know Skylar Thompson sucks. I heard one of the guys on the podcast today, that Skylar Thompson should be playing in the WNBA, but that would be an insult to all WNBA players. He said Caitlin Clark is a better quarterback than Skylar Thompson. And you know what? With all those assists, I kind of might have to agree. Shout out Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, we'll see what the Dolphins do. Tua's gone for at least 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
They went and picked up the kid from Baltimore, Hundley.
Oh yeah. Watch him come out and ball out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Miami can probably beat Seattle without Tua, but everything has to go right. Like A-Chain looks awesome.
A-Chain looks good.
The wide receivers are great. So
Huntley's gonna get the ball to him, but he's never been a slinger like that. Like he played in a system behind Lamar Jackson. So anytime you have a quarterback like that, the system's built one way and one way only. So I mean, Tua technically is a more strategic, I want to say fluidly mobile quarterback than Huntley. I think Huntley's a more athletic quarterback. But I just don't see, like, hopefully maybe in this system he plays well. Maybe it's built for him. But I mean, I'm taking Geno in this game. Like at home, especially with the 12th man, like you got to take it. There's no way that Huntley coming in in the first week coming in to start a quarterback.
I don't think he plays.
Skylar Thompson's going to start this one. So yeah, Skylar Thompson coming in the loudest stadium in the NFL and trying to make calls. This is going to be a nightmare for him. That's what I can see.
I mean, I have to give the credit to Cadell, but there's a blueprint for what should be done here. It's Mostert and Achane back there, Wildcat. Bring back Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams, run the wild. You can't tell me neither one of those guys can throw a ball for Tyreek Hill to run under and catch. Like,
well, not only that, I like Wildcat, but I like the twin tail. Give me a twin tail back, give me a split back, and put both those guys back there, and then you really force, because at that point now you can force read options. You can force, the defense don't know which way you're running the ball. Like you could do a lot.
Run the read option.
What do you mean? He played behind Lamar Jackson. Of course he can run read option. That's probably the only thing he knows how to do.
No, Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson.
Oh, Skylar Thompson. Oh, you said Skylar. Yeah, no. He better learn.
Yeah, I think it might work. It
I
might
could.
be.
It could work. It could work. It could work. Anyway, I think this would be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it
I
should
think
be
it'd be a
good.
fun game to watch, definitely.
I
Now,
want
this
I want the
honestly,
Dolphins to wear orange and the Seahawks to wear
ooh,
their steels. I think that would be a
that would be
cool color
fire.
combo. But it's not Thursday night football, so I don't think we're getting any color rush.
Damn. All right. This game coming up here is actually going to be an
Yeah.
interesting one because
Lions Cardinals, hot look Cardinals, man.
Cardinals look good right now offensively. I will say this. I watched an interview, a post. I think it was a pregame or post game of Kyler, and he said, "Let me list out the resume." And the man listed out the resume, and I forgot that he was an elite athlete for a second. Like I truly forgot how much of an elite athlete he was. He said drafted overall and number one in the NFL, won the Heisman, offensive rookie of the year, two-time Pro Bowler, drafted in the MLB as well. The man is a premier athlete.
And
So,
he has over 100,000 followers on Twitch.
but
So
imagine if you took a premier athlete and you forced them to learn. You forced them to by putting in their contract that they had to study. What happens when you get them good offensive weapons? They might start to perform a little bit better. Call of Duty,
they,
October 25th,
yeah,
2024.
that's what I'm looking at. When's that bye week, and how many games do they have? Can they get to 8 wins before Call of Duty comes out?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I am excited for them to have a good season. And I hope that Kyler really can keep it together, keep the offense rolling. Definitely don't want to bar any injuries. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how well they can do the rest of the season. I have their bye week at man, where is their bye?
While you're looking that up, I have Aiden Hutchinson with over 2.5 sacks in this game. Dude is a monster. Should have
Oh,
had the Lions single game record.
yeah, they robbed him. NFL
They
always
took a
doing
half
something,
off of
dude.
him.
Always doing something.
But he's a monster. He's a he was a hell of a player in college, and has had a good Lions career so far. But I think he's twice Kyler Murray's size, and I'm gonna enjoy seeing those sacks. I think the Cardinals will give Detroit everything they've got, but I think those sacks will end up being there.
So I just looked it up. Cardinals have week 11 bye. Call of Duty comes out May 25th, I believe. So they got, October 25th. So they got Cardinals Dolphins week 8, Cardinals Bears week 9, Cardinals Jets week 10. So that's up until the bye. So I mean, if he can hold it together for those 3 games up until the bye, he can kill all the Call of Duty he wants.
I mean, they're not great. They're not great teams. He could probably do Call of Duty and his studying.
Oh my goodness, Marvin Harrison Jr. back there, you got a lot of help. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe he'll be playing with him.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Elite athlete. Not to take anything away from Marvin Harrison, but he's a kid, and he probably also plays Call of Duty.
Well, as long as they're playing together, that's all that matters. They build that team camaraderie on and off the field.
Exactly.
Now, as far as games of the week go, what should have been the game of the week, I think, is this Baltimore Ravens and Cowboys game. Both of these teams are supposed to be so high-powered teams. You got Baltimore starting the season 0-2, and the Cowboys getting blown out by a very, very unassuming Saints team. What's your take on that? What does Baltimore need to do?
They need the new quarterback. They need to get a pocket passer who doesn't look so grumpy every time he gets sacked. I think Baltimore actually wins this game, and I think it's because of Lamar. I think what looked like a very winnable schedule for the Cowboys without their top corner now is very quickly starting to look like the Cowboys are completely exposed on the back half of their defense. And I don't like Lamar, but he is a very accurate quarterback when he has time in the pocket. That's something that Carr had in spades. So if they can give Lamar a little bit of protection and let him go through his progressions, I think the back half of this Cowboys defense is going to be in a lot of trouble. I like the Ravens to win, but I like these teams to actually score. I think they are good where the other is bad. I think we'll actually see some points in this game.
I think honestly this is definitely going to be a higher scoring game than both these teams had in the past week. Zay Flowers is just a lot of speed, man. There's just so much speed with that guy, and I could see him just tossing it up and like Lamar's got a strong enough arm to get it out there to him. And so you're right about that Cowboys. What I am excited about though is I really think, as much as I hate to say it, like I think Micah Parsons is going to give that Ravens offensive line some fits, and I think that that they're going to end up using Derrick Henry and a lot more chips, or Justice Smith and a lot more chips. And I think if they were able to get this guy, get him going, like you got to get him going. Yeah. If you get him going, then you forced him to stack the box. In which case, then you can expose the back end of that. Cowboys could be in some trouble, man. They could be in some trouble. Zeke is not what he used to be. Their O-line does not look like what it used to be. And, they did just lose their tight end. CD's good, but he ain't that good. He's not going to carry your entire offense. So Dak's going to have to figure out who's going to be his number 2, his number 3 guys to get that ball out. Zeke's going to have to take some out of the backfield in order to get him to spread and actually give him some space for the run game to work. So, and
Zeke's looked serviceable. He's looked fine.
He's decent, but he's definitely not. He's definitely not as he definitely don't got the same step he used to have. I'm not scared of Zeke.
1.5 in Baltimore's favor. The public money is the Cowboys. This will be pick 'em at half at kickoff rather.
At 1.5, I typically give it to the home team, but Baltimore coming off an 0-2 start, I can see them really like coming out hard here. Cowboys think that Saints loss is a mistake. They think it's a one-time thing and it's just going to go away. But if the Saints offense should not be as high-powered as the Baltimore Ravens offense, so that really says something to me right there. So we'll see how it works out this week.
West Coast game, Niners Rams to round out the afternoon here. Man, the Rams the Rams got the injury bug real bad. They need to get like some good juju going in their training facility. There's no one left.
What cleats are they using? Did they sign up with the same people that got excuse me, Derrick Rose's cleats? Like who the hell what are these cleats? What cleats are they using?
It's bad, man. I mean, like I made that Tutu joke earlier. Like Tutu Atwell is going to see targets in this game. Like there's no one left on this team.
There are, honestly though, I will say this, and it's not just them. There are a lot of position players, a lot of skill players who took some injuries this week. We'll talk about a couple coming up. Yeah. But it's so right now there's a big argument and discussion over the fields, right? Over what materials this field should be made out of. A lot of them are still turf. Some of them are still going over to the grass.
The one these Rams got hurt on is the one in Arizona here with the real grass.
A lot of fields are still turf. A lot of fields are getting transitioned over to real grass, but there's still been a lot of argument over that. So if you're anybody who designs cleats, right? You saw what happened in Philadelphia in that AstroTurf / grass field. All right, if you want a real career right now, figure out how to stop all these players from getting so many goddamn injuries. All right. Either that, or you better figure out how to boost that soft tissue to make it so that these guys aren't tearing so many damn things, straining and spraining everything. I mean, they're very powerful players. Each one of these impacts is serious, and that's what happens. But like, we're just constantly building stronger and faster guys. We got to figure out how to make sure that the stuff that we use to their equipment is matching that. So that was what I was trying to get at, and
I think this game will be closer than people expect it to be. I think this is a one possession game at the end. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams were winning for some reason. Jordan Mason for real, I think. I think San Francisco kind of that same thing we were talking about. You just kind of plug a guy in.
I I honestly agree with that, and part of the reason why I agree with that is because watching the way that their offense ran last year, where they had so many guys that were running sweeps, that were coming in and being in receivers, where your fullback, your wide receivers, your tight end, and your running back are all essentially interchangeable to a degree. Like it's just if that's a system that you're running, you can plug in a guy like Mason, and I mean I'm not saying he's CMC, but he looks very good and very comfortable with where he is. So he could be maybe he is that caliber guy, and we're just getting to see him now. But CMC's got a little bit of history behind him. So, but Mason doing very well. I think that at the end of the day, like this is going to be a tough game. I'd probably go with San Fran, but I do definitely can see this being a one possession game.
Yeah, San Francisco like a 7-point favorite. No Debo. I'm looking at this right now. I get 3-1 money on the Rams to win outright. I'll probably dabble in a little bit of that. San Francisco's the better team.
I mean, no Debo, no CMC like, versus no wide receivers. versus no
like you're watching Red Zone and falling asleep on the couch, and you wake up in a start, and like the Rams are up by 6, and there's 30 seconds left. Like one of those kind of games. Like
fair enough.
Sunday Night Football. I'm really excited for this one. Chiefs Falcons. Seeing the Falcons play well. It's Tuesday today. Watching that game last night. Bijan is kind of coming into it, man. He's coming into himself here. The offense starting to gel. Obviously, scoring 23 points isn't colossal.
What's the way that they did it?
And the Chiefs have looked kind of suspect at times. Mahomes are the best. The Chiefs are the best. It's their Super Bowl to win. But I'm excited for this game in the Dome. This could be fireworks. This could be a lot of fun Sunday night after a thin afternoon slate. So I'm pretty pumped for this game.
Chiefs without Pacheco is going to be huge because he's always somebody you need to worry about in that backfield. And then, the Ravens looked really solid. I'm sorry, the Ravens. The Falcons looked really solid against the Eagles. The Eagles kind of had been a little suspect as well, dropping passes when they shouldn't have. So I don't want to say that the Falcons blew them out of the water or anything like that. But Kirk Cousins looking really good back there. Bijan, he's pounding the rock. They're getting it to him, and I got Kyle Pitts on the fantasy team, so I would like to see some points. But at the end of the day, Chiefs defensive line is still. They're still one of the best defensive lines I think in the NFL. And Patrick Mahomes is always capable of getting the ball to the receivers. I mean, if they can establish any type of run game with Worthy and Rice, who I mean, they are a damn good receiver duo. And then Kelsey's still out there. That offense is I would say is still above the Falcons as far as their consistency of output. So I mean, I'd like to see Atlanta. Make this game really competitive. I take the Chiefs probably by 2.5, even though Atlanta's at home.
Yeah, line is sitting 3.5 right now.
Okay.
I think this is the game that Mr. Taylor Swift gets it back. Carson Steele is starting at running back. Samaje Perine is the other running back on the team.
So
the short game. The short game's got to be tight end play. So I'm looking for him to finally get going. Watch Kelsey kind of replace the run game. The Falcons have a decent linebacker core, but it's Travis Kelsey. I mean, he's going to be just fine. I think they'll feed him versus handing the ball off to friggin' Carson Steele. So
who do you think has more receptions in this game? Kyle Pitts and Bijan, or Steele and Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Yeah.
By himself. I don't know if Carson Steele gets a catch, but that's the side I'll take. I think this is going to be one of those games where Kelsey has 9, 10, 11 catches for 90, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of those games where he just kind of stuffs the stat sheet and is always open, right? It's like 3rd and 3 and they lose him and he converts it. And it's only a 4-yard game, in the middle of the field. Yep. It's the linchpin for the damn drive, and they score and never look back. And then he's open the whole 4th quarter because they play deep shell, and it just feels like one of those kind of games with no real running backs. So that'd be the side I take. But Bijan's good for 5. Pitts has been open and been targeted, so I could see it being close. But if I had to pick a side, it would be the Kelce side.
Fair enough. Monday Night Football.
Double dose of Monday night for no reason.
Is it really though? One of these games is going to be probably fun to watch. The other one, I'm expecting to be a fucking dumpster fire. So,
but which is which?
Look, I would honestly take Josh Allen to make a game look fun and be interesting, especially Monday Night Football at home. I think it's warm enough in Buffalo for people to actually enjoy themselves. So I could totally see him having a good game against Jacksonville. The Bengals against it's going to be, honestly, it's really just going to be Jaden Daniels having fun out there because, God, are the Bengals just bad. There's no cohesion on their offense. Their defense is
torches them. I want this Burrow thing to just go away. They had a miracle run. It's over.
I think that he was just still high from his national championship. I think that's what it was. I think there was like a carryover from the national championship, and people went, "Wait, he's not a good quarterback. What am I doing here?"
I get the millions of dollars at risk here, and like that it is more like a player organization thing. But like if you don't even have the respect of the guy that you played with in college and then took to a playoff in the NFL, if he doesn't even respect you enough to just like shut up and play football, like that says a lot about you as a quarterback. And the skill set's there, but like, what have you heard since we were kids? Like the quarterback's the leader of the team, and like the Bengals suck, and it's got to be Burrow's fault. I mean, he just
you're a leader. You're supposed to be a leader. He went through that whole spiel about change his whole look and everything. I'm more locked in. I'm more focused. I'm not seeing it. And maybe you're locked in and focused, but you're definitely not keeping the guys around you like that. You look at these other teams, and whether it's the quarterback or whether it's someone else on the team, like you can see the energy from the captain, and you can see how it affects the team. And on those good teams especially, I don't see that from him. I don't see that pedigree right now. So maybe he's in his head.
Yeah. How about Burrow to have the least passing yards of any starting quarterback on the 2 Monday night games?
Oh,
just passing, not all purpose, just passing yards.
Oh, if it was all purpose yards, then he would definitely have the least.
Yes, correct. That's why I wanted to clarify. Just passing yards.
Damn it. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Josh Allen, maybe, is that what you're thinking?
Nah, I'm thinking T-Law throws for like 220. I can see T-Law throwing for like 220. Bills are just going to I feel like the Bills might have a field day.
I'll put a shot on Burrow under 220 passing yards.
You know what? Let's do it. Burrow under 220 passing yards. That's a shot. Deal.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah, I think he's got the least out of all 4. I am excited for a double slate on Monday night. Even if the games maybe aren't the best as a pair, you have a standalone Monday night game and the Bills game that should be good football, should be playoff caliber football. We still are expecting big things out of both of these teams. So getting the second game as like a little sprinkle on top, I'm all in. I'm all in on more football. I hate that the afternoon slate on Sunday is only 3 games. That sucks. Or is it 4? Is that Dolphins game late?
I think it is a late game. It should be a late game.
I'm an idiot. It's a 5 game.
Yeah, the top rack is the morning and the bottom rack is afternoon, correct?
Okay, I'm good then. This is awesome.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's 5-5.
The offense, look, the at the end of the day, the Bills need to just put themselves above. And honestly, for me right now, Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen have had the same career. The only difference is that Josh Allen's personal stats, individual stats, account for a lot more touchdowns. But overall, where's their success been? Nothing. They ain't neither one of them done shit. The fact that Joe Burrow has a Super Bowl appearance is much more indicative of of how not excited, not how great these guys have been. I mean, anybody could be Phillip Rivers, anybody could be Tony Romo, anybody could be a regular season stat stuffing 4,000-yard passer. But what do you do when it's time for your team to actually put themselves in position to win a game? And Allen has done that in a few instances, but not when he's needed to.
What is the least amount of money you would take to have 16 children?
Like a year?
I'm thinking Phillip Rivers.
Oh, but at a certain point, you don't have to pay child support. That's number one. Number two, it's actually 10 kids, if I'm not mistaken. Number two, eventually all your kids become employees. Jesus. Hey, that's how farming culture works, sir.
I get it. How... he made $250 million in his career.
Yeah, that's enough money to give each kid $10 million and still have some left over. And still have some left over.
I'm just thinking like on the Cromartie scale, Phillip Rivers is doing much better for himself.
I don't know. Cromartie's got a TV show. Forgot about that.
Man, that was a good show. I don't know. Well, it was a show. It was hilarious.
It was funny. It was a show. Yeah, good is subjective.
Antonio Cromartie, career earnings $50 million. Oof.
Check out the net worth, though. You got to check the net worth.
I mean, that's going to take more Googling than I'm going to give it right now. But does he still own that hotel he moved all his kids into?
His net worth is currently sitting at 10, 12, 13 million.
I mean, that's way more than I'm worth.
Oh, okay. Some of these, these are a little bit outdated because he couldn't have signed a contract for $32 million for 4 years and then only be worth $10 million.
He's been out the league since what? It's probably been 6-7 seasons already.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, but I'm sure he also had a TV show afterwards, so I'm sure he made some money. He was also one of the smarter players in the NFL when it came to some of his money, if I'm not mistaken. But anywho,
couldn't tell you. All right, real quick. Is there a 33-point game this week?
I think that the games that have the best chance of being 33-point games, it's going to be Lions Cardinals. If they actually have good offensive games, Cowboys Ravens, either one of those teams, very capable of doing so. If the Bills really, really put some points up there, they could do it too. The Raiders could do it if they got defensive touchdowns.
Dude,
those are my teams that I think.
Niners-Rams game.
Niners-Rams game.
Yeah. Whoever wins it. This is
Rams.
27-33.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Lions Cardinals game. That's going to be my 33-point game.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else for week 3?
I'm good. I mean, it's going to be a good slate of games. I'm excited. It's going to be fun to watch. And yeah, go Raiders.
We're flowing. We've seemed to settle into right about 60 minutes here for a normal slate. So maybe we'll try to speedy it up and get you guys some segments. We'll talk this week about what else we can bring to the table as far as that's concerned, and maybe break up the hour-long wall of games with something in the middle. But let us know in the comments or on socials, and we'll keep adapting.
All right. This has been Yelling and Screaming. I'm Sean at KS Flash.
Rick, King of Lakemore.
I'll see you guys next week.
Oh, I didn't have the button ready, though, so we're going to have a weird out again.